What's the most average country in the world? This is half a geography question and half a math question, so honestly it seems pretty perfect for this channel. Of course, every country is unique, so it's hard to say one is more average than another in general, but there are some commonly used numerical statistics about countries that we could measure and compare. Depending on which features of a country we measure, and how we calculate the average, the world's most average country could look very different. Let's explore. There are tons of different statistics that people measure about countries, from population to human rights scores to percentage of water versus land. There's not really an objective way to decide which statistics are the most important ones, so we'll just do the next best thing and steal someone else's answer. For this video, we'll be using the 8 statistics that get a numerical rank in the Wikipedia info box for most countries: area, population, population density, GDP and GDP per capita, both nominal and by purchasing power, and Human Development Index, or HDI. This list might seem a bit redundant, since for instance a country with average GDP and average population ought to have average GDP per capita. So we'll also be calculating ranks for a reduced set of 5 statistics: area, population, nominal total GDP, GDP per capita by purchasing power, and HDI. The logic behind this split in the GDP statistics is that purchasing power uses local prices, which is more relevant to individual people, while nominal GDP uses global prices, which is more relevant to the country as a whole. If you want to redo these calculations with your own breakdown, the spreadsheets are linked in the description. Now that we've picked our statistics, we need to define what we mean by country and what we mean by average. Without comment on specific geopolitical hotspots, we'll be using as our countries any entity that's plausibly de facto independent and has easily available statistics on all 8 measures. These are the 193 UN member states, along with the Cook Islands, Kosovo, Niue, Palestine, and Taiwan. I really wanted to include Vatican City as well, but they don't publish good GDP figures. How about average? Averages in general tell you what's a typical member of a set of objects. You might remember from math class that 3 popular averages are mean, median, and mode. The mode is the easiest to explain. It's the most frequently occurring value in the data. For instance, the mode first letter of a national capital is B, since more national capitals start with B than any other letter. No 2 countries have precisely the same population, area, or GDP, however, so it doesn't make much sense to talk about the modal country on those statistics. Let's move on to the median. The median number in a set is the number right in the middle, in the sense that half the set is bigger and half the set is smaller. We're looking at 198 countries, so the median value on each of these measured statistics is a value between that of the 99th country on the list and the 100th country on the list. You could think of it as a hypothetical 99.5th place on the list. To find the most median country, we can give each country a score. Here's how it works. Pick any country, say Austria. In terms of area, Austria is 114th in the world. That's 14.5 places below 99.5th place, so Austria gets 14.5 points for area. In terms of population, it's 99th, right next to the median, so only half a point. By population density, it's 83rd, so that's 99.5 minus 83, or 16.5 points. Adding up for all 8 categories, Austria gets a total score of 401 points, which is pretty typical. Now, we just need to find the countries with the lowest scores. Jordan is in 3rd place with 117 points. The runner-up with 110 points is Tunisia. And the most median country, drum roll please, is Azerbaijan with a score of only 104. Azerbaijan's area is slightly below the median, while on all the other statistics it's slightly above the median. It turns out that these top 3 stay the same with the restricted list of only 5 statistics instead of 8, so these countries sure are average. The change does affect the bottom of the list, though. With all 8 statistics, the least median country is Little Monaco, while with only 5 statistics, the least median country is the United States of America. So, congratulations, Azerbaijan! Now let's take a look at the third kind of average, the mean. There's actually more than one kind of mean, but the most commonly used is the arithmetic mean, where you add up all the values on a list and divide by the total number of values. You can get the mean area of a country on the list by adding up all the areas of all the countries and dividing by the total number of countries. We can do the same for population and both kinds of GDP. We'll have to treat statistics that are already proportions a bit differently. Suppose you have a country with 5 people in 1 square kilometer, and one with 1 person in 5 square kilometers. If we added their densities and divided by 2, we'd get 2.6 people per square kilometer. But the 2-country region as a whole has 6 people in 6 square kilometers, for a density of 1 person per square kilometer. So, for population density, we'll add up the total population of all the countries on this list and divide by the total area of all the countries on the list. For GDP per capita, we'll divide total GDP by the total population. Finally, for Human Development Index, we'll use the HDI for the world as a whole. Okay, now it's time to score the countries. Since we're using the mean, which involves actual numerical values for the relevant statistics, it would make sense to compare these numerical values rather than just the ranked position on the list like we did for the medians. One good score for each statistic that helpfully avoids problems with unit conversions would be the ratio of a country's specific value to the average value, taking the reciprocal if the ratio is less than 1. So a country with twice as much area as average and a country with half as much area as average would both get a score of 2 for area. Like for the median, we then just total up the scores. Since the scores are ratios, we'll be multiplying them instead of adding them, but the winners are the same either way. Using all 8 values, the most mean country is Colombia. Second place is Malaysia, and third place is Thailand. By the more limited set of 5 values, Thailand jumps to first place, bumping Colombia to second. Colombia is above the world average on area, population, GDP by purchasing power, and HDI, and below average on the other 4, while Thailand is below average on area, nominal GDP, and nominal GDP per capita, and above average on the others. And if you're curious, the least mean countries are basically just the smallest: Niue, Monaco, Tuvalu, and Nauru. We've found the most median countries and the most mean countries. Is there anything else we should look at before wrapping up? Well, besides the arithmetic mean, there's a different kind of mean that we can use, the geometric mean. To find the geometric mean of a set of 10 numbers, you'd multiply them all and take the 10th root. It turns out, though, that the countries closest to the geometric mean are also the most median countries: Jordan, Tunisia, and Azerbaijan, just in a different order and with Paraguay added if you use just the 5 non-redundant statistics. So, are any of these category winners really more average than any of the others? I personally think the median best captures the idea of average country, but in the end this is mostly just a fun exercise in statistics. Hopefully that's something you can appreciate whether you're in Baku, Bogota, or Bangkok, or even Beijing or Buenos Aires. Of course, you can go even deeper into the math than we did in this video. In fact, I did, and discovered why North Korea is mathematically the most bizarre country on Earth, but that's a story for another time. In the meantime, be sure to leave your feedback in the comments and subscribe if you want to see more like this. And as always, thanks for watching.